With today's video, we're going to take a look at 10 Eagles that can be much better in 2024, how they fared, and some that might not even be here, to be honest with you, as well as take an early look at the depth chart and see how things might shake out with free agency right around the corner. What's up, it's your boy Cintron coming back at you with another analysis video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. Like I said, 10 Eagles who have to be much better in 2024, and I'm going to add one to the list because one is going to be addition by subtraction. Not his fault, but kind of his fault. All right, we have a core of guys here. You know, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, DeAndre Swift. Gonna be here. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Jake Elliott, Keely Ringo now. But we have that core of guys who are, without question, gonna be here, mostly on the O line, a few on the D line, and quarterback, obviously. Receivers, but we need to add some pieces and say goodbye to some guys and say hello to some new ones that hopefully can be formative pieces that we continue to build around for years to come. But let's get to the list, man. Reed Blankenship, he had a Pro Bowl year, but on the field it was not. Through week 11, the passer rating, very good and ranked 13th, which is middle of the pack. He's still only a second-year player. We're forgetting that. But the collapse of the defense really highlighted some weaknesses and, his strengths, playing the run close to the line of scrimmage, but we had him kind of as a free safety. And I think he can play in coverage, but we need the pieces in front of him, the D-line and the linebacking core, to be in place, be solid. And the degradation of the unit, it was a group effort, collaborative. He ranked 45th out of 51. I don't think he's that bad. I think he's a solid safety, but you need to have cohesion in place. The safeties are there to be buffers for the corners, and the corners were okay at best, and then somewhere between below average and absolutely abysmal for a lot of the other times. So looking at the scheme, did we put him in positions to be successful? I don't think so. Will they this year with Vic Fangio? That's yet to be seen, but I think he's a competent safety. I would want to have a good backup in place, but someone to challenge him this offseason for sure. But I think he's one of our starters. I think we found a good guy, and I'm reticent to just jettison him along with the other guys that are not going to be back, like Kevin Byard. Jalen Carter, for him to even be on this list speaks to the expectations that we have of him, because he was only a rookie last year, and him having a great start. Looking at the holes in his game, obviously he needs to be less aggressive in his approach and be more balanced. He got knocked down too easily, when he was moving forward, because he was just charging in and hitting the wall per se. I mean, stamina, they only have 12 to 13 game seasons in college football, and you're 17, we played 18 games because of us having to play the wild card game when we didn't deserve to be there. But I think Jalen Carter is a guy that he can build if he can add some more pass rushing moves, hand fighting, speed to power. Some of those to his repertoire. In offseason, hopefully he'll get to work. But I think, he had a very solid rookie year in retrospect, but a lot of things he can improve upon. And we'll get to his partner in crime that needs some improvement. For me, Jordan Davis is all about his body, getting in the workout room and working on the stamina so he can sustain himself over the course of the season. Yeah, he had high-level play the first quarter to almost in the mid-quarter of the season. He played a big part in us having that number one rushing defense early on in the year, because that faded really quickly. But in order for him to sustain a high-level play, like you're saying, he's going to need to not play so high, his pad level, be able to go stretches. We're going to have to, play a high number of snaps And we also need a backup player, because he's the very unique player that we have that no one can imitate his body size and athletic ability he's able to put on display out there. But I also would like for us to put him in more positions where he can be a pass rusher. So switching him around, some stunts and stuff like that, he can do it, even at his size. Because he's incredibly athletic, but he wore down obviously as the year went on. So for me, it's more about the physical than it is mental, which is usually just the opposite. Nakobe Dean, just stay healthy, because we don't really know what we have in him. He is only still 23 years old, and we'll see. Obviously, made a huge investment in him by Howard Roseman standards, a third-round pick. I'm like, what? I know Mike Kendricks, we did invest $2 in him. That was surprising, but he needs a running mate. Him playing Will, letting him go sideline to sideline. I want a Mike in there that can cover like a Tampa 2 linebacker in the mold of a Devin White, a Patrick Queen, a Roquan Smith. A guy that with that not just moving forward, pass rushing, but moving backwards, backpedaling, zone coverage, dropping the spots, and not just being a decoy. Or I should say a lame duck out there, but actually being someone who can cover ground, and preferably guy with exact Cunningham's dimensions, 6'3", 6'4", at the very least 6'2", has a huge wingspan, can bat down balls and balls at the line of scrimmage when they blitz, and can spy. He has the athleticism to do that. So I know I ended up talking about someone else, but not him. But he's a very good run defender. Pass coverage spotty, but like I said, at Will, wouldn't be looking for him to do too much of that. He'd be moonlighting at the very least, and then just competency. And when putting the guys around him, improving their play, the personnel would make him better as well. Dallas Goedert, it's hard for me to say. I wouldn't even put it on him. Staying healthy, cool. Avoiding injuries, yeah, sure. 2 years ago, no. But this past year, if he doesn't outstretch the arm, he keeps it protected. He doesn't miss that time. But even then, it was an abysmal year in offense. Wouldn't have mattered. And I'll put him on the backup. If we have a guy who's in his mold, but a Goddard light per se, if we can upgrade that position. So it's less about Goddard and more about behind. Again, with this guy here, Jalen Hurts, he needs to be better, sure. 4 fumbles, 15 interceptions is not what we want to see from him. I would put 8 on him, 7 that weren't. At the very least 6. So there were some fluky plays, but someone he threw directly into the face of the coverage with a blitzing corner coming off the edge. What do you expect to happen? Nothing fortuitous. When the ball is tipped going into the air, you're hoping that it innocuously falls down to the ground, but that's not going to happen a lot of times. Third most turnovers behind Sam Howell and Josh Allen. Yeah, man, giveth and you taketh. But it was more so I would say 6 or more. I forget how many it was. Might have been 9. We're forcing the ball into coverage downfield. I would say 6. When we didn't have to, by nature of the philosophy of the offense that we're operating under. Push the ball down the field. Explosive plays, explosive plays, explosive plays. Shut up. Matriculate the ball down the field, yes. But don't make that the priority. Getting first downs, moving the ball, putting yourself in position to score should be the priority. We're supposed to be amorphous, not singularly focused. Stupid. But I think the offense he's going to be in is going to make his job easier, which would, translate to less turnovers, more options, and just quick processing time. Because last year he was at 2.7, I think, and now this year he was at 3 seconds, which is like the third slowest. So make his job easier. He'll put him in an offense this year, like Kellen Moore's offense this year, and we might still be playing. So we won 11 games with a top 15 quarterback. If he gets to even outside 11 or 12, I think we're having a pretty good year and maybe trying to make a deep playoff run. Avonte Maddox, to be honest with you, I don't even think he's gonna be here. We can save $7 million by cutting him. So sad to say. I love his play style, but his body just can't keep up. So we'll get to a guy later on the depth chart that is going to replace him, I believe. Son Reddick, he could be traded as well. But I do believe we might be trying to extend him. But we're looking at him and the guy below, who I just took a peek at. Both of them are going to be playing for, we can only keep one going forward, him or Joshua. You can't keep both. And this year we'll decide who we keep, even though he is going to be 31 when the year ends. He's still playing at a pretty high level, even though he had a down year, 11 sacks, but we were all out of sorts. So I don't want to say last year meant nothing and wipe the slate clean on that, but he showed me more when we were down than anything that would be worth just erasing him from the roster this year. This guy will play a huge part, Nolan Smith, because we didn't really see much because he wasn't given a ton of snaps, and they didn't have the right roles for him. I would say on offense defense last year. So it's kind of a fresh start. He wasn't as bad as Marcus Smith. Nobody's been that bad in a while, but you can't really count on him as of this moment. So bring in another guy, veteran or rookie. We'll see. But if he can make a jump, that would be nice. To giving us something, even just a modicum of consistency. We'll see. Josh Sweat, the drop-off was huge. It was more concerning, his drop-off, than Reddick's. Reddick's slid back a little bit, but Sweat completely dropped off the face of the earth. Before the bye week, 6.5 sacks, and then none after that. Playoff game, yeah, he had one, but I mean, that showed me that, they could have some impact, in the Tampa Bay game. So I don't think he's dead, but like I said, this will be a crucial year for him. He's making a lot of money. It's going to justify us wanting to keep him over Reddick. All right, but anyways, let's get to the depth chart. Yeah, this guy has a lot of work to do. He rarely has back-to-back down years, so we'll see how he bounces back. But this is the depth chart. What are we going to do at the backup position? Because I don't think we re-sign Marcus Mariota. Dollars are going to be at a premium. If Tanner McKee can step up, cool, but we don't have much to validate that train of thought as of this moment. I think if there's a guy there we like, we'll take him. But then if there's a guy, if Marcus Mariota is willing to cut that salary even further, I think we might be willing to bring him back, but it's a big question mark there. What do we do here? Because I don't think we're going to be willing to spend. I doubt it. Previous history tells me that we're not going to want to spend money on DeAndre Swift. So I think he's out the door. You have Kenny as your number 2. These guys aren't coming back. I think we draft a guy, or my hope, wish, dream would be get a lower tier back in A.J. Dillon, bring him in. He can be the hammer, and then we can have a Thunder with him, and then Lightning with Kenny Gainwell. Perfect. And then draft a guy to replace this, like the Marshall running back, Rashid Ali, who's going to be damaged goods, has a biceps injury, can buy him low, maybe, 5th, 6th, 7th round, or possibly a priority free agent, who knows. Got to bring in receiver depth behind A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Quez is gone. We're not re-signing any of these guys. Don't know what we have in Joseph Nagata. So I think, if we go after a Lad McConkey or someone later in the draft, a slot receiver, hopefully, someone that can play slot and on the outside, so that's size, but, speed, can replace either of these guys. I'm not saying in the immediate future, of course not, but can play on the inside and has that outside versatility as well. Chain mover, but someone who's good at running routes. So take a look at, maybe if you want to go later, Luke McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's brother. Pedigree's there. Let's see, backup tight end. I think we tender him, and we'll be fine with that. But $2 million, I think that might be too rich even for. Even in this day and age. So what do? We have a pass catching tight end. We're not going to bring him back. So much untapped potential wasted, but we really want a dual threat similar to Dallas Goedert and the guy to bring along as well. So we might look to draft. We need depth on the interior, and let's see, futures for Lane Johnson. So we'll draft a future because he does have 2 years now left on his deal, but he is 34, so you want to plan sooner than later. I think we let him go. I don't think Kuss is coming back, to be honest. Cam Jurgens, I think we shift him in there, and then Tyler Steen, I think we're gonna slide him in, but we still want to have a backup plan in place. So there's a lot of depth along the interior and exterior in this draft. So we'll draft a couple pieces there, maybe 2 guys at the least, bring in 3 or 4 maybe. But Cam Jurgens also a guy that I forgot to mention. He's a guy that has to improve. The O-line overall played pretty good, but he did have some spots. Like in the Tampa Bay game, he struggled against a fellow rookie, Kalijah Kancey. And we need him to be much better if he's going to step into the starting role. But I think at center, it's tough because we go from a guy who calls the protections and slides the line, is able to recognize blitzes and stuff like that. All of his experience gone, and pretty much a raw guy coming in. I'm glad he got the experience at guard, but he's not going to be making those calls for Lane. So not Lane, for Jalen. So it's going to be Landon making those calls now, or who takes up that that role on the line, that responsibility. And I believe he's going to step up as a leader as well. Let's get to the defensive side. Brandon Graham, we could bring him back, but I don't know. I'm more 60-40. He doesn't come back just because of money issues. Fletcher Cox, I think he moves on, whether it be retired or not. Zach Cunningham, I think we do tender him. Gone. We need to overhaul. Nice depth piece, but we need impact linebackers, and we don't have them. Haven't had them, I'd say, for a while. TJ Edwards was one guy, but we needed a solid running mate for him. Didn't have it. I think it's funny. I think we cut him later in June. He's not coming back. We need depth, and he's not going to be ready. So what do we do at the safety position? Do we go with the veteran and then draft? I think we might double. I think we have to double up because he got injured in December, so he will not be ready for possibly the start of the season. And I think we have to resign. Yeah, we have to resign Braden Mann. He had a great year. He'll get signed, not too much money. Like I said, neither one will be back. And then Isaiah Rodgers is on the suspension list. But I think we slot him in at slot corner, and he solves a big problem for us there. So that's my take on the depth chart. Longer video than I expected, but hey, lots to talk about. We'll get into some more things. But this is it for me. But you're not even watching though, but it's all good because I love talking about the Eagles and I love making these videos. So we're going to chunk the deuces. But as always, it's fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, subscribe Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.